What's up, guys? It's Nemcody here, and welcome back to another video. And I will never learn how to do an intro for a part 2, so I guess I'll just cut right to the chase. If you haven't watched the first video I did on Pikmin 2, then you should probably go watch that, but I'll do a quick review just in case. Basically, we're beating Pikmin 2 while not hitting any enemies with our fist or our Pikmin, and we can only do damage to them if they eat one of our white Pikmin. And while I'm sure you're all here to see how we repay the debt, I'd actually like to bring something up. If you check the date that this video was posted, it's actually a pretty important day. And besides all other holidays that actually matter, June 14th is actually my channel anniversary. No, just ignore that. No, on this day, 1 year ago, I posted my very first video here on YouTube. So now that the channel is officially a year old, I'm holding a little bit of a celebration on my Discord server. So go ahead and join it with the link down below, and you can check out an exclusive video for only Discord members. It's not very good, but just a little something extra for the true fans. But with that out of the way, happy birthday to me, and let's get started with the video. So, when we left off, we had just about paid off half of the debt, and so let's pick right back up. I start off in the perplexing pool, and I try to make my way over to the shower room, and I literally have no idea how I'm supposed to get my yellow Pikmin over this tiny bridge. So I spend several minutes trying to obtain basic competence till we manage to break down the electric gate and clear out a path to the shower room. And we pull out the stop in the cave entrance, and all the water from the perplexing pool drains into the cave and flushes out all of the treasure for us. I wish. No one likes the shower room. Ranging Blister is pretty cool, though. We'll get back to that later, though, because right now we can throw our Pikmin in the trash can. Killing the normal Toady Bloister here, we obtain the aquatic mine, which is worth 80 Pokos. I was joking when I said he was a trash can, but I guess I wasn't wrong. Anyway, after sufficiently burning through my white Pikmin stock, I take a trip over to Wikipedia, which tells me that the subterranean complex has a bunch of white candy pop buds in it. So it's time to head over to the Valley of Repose, where we collect these spiny alien trees, the utter scrap, and then leave. Day 11, we've completely exhausted our white Pikmin numbers, so I take a trip back to the Awakening Wood to restock, sacrifice my white Pikmin to build up my numbers, repeat. Then some not fun stuff happens that I don't really want to detail. Then I wrongly assume that there's a treasure in this snagret and waste a few white Pikmin, so kind of a pointless day and all, and I hate that I'm speedrunning through these days, but there's really just not a lot that happens. Day 12, and we go back to the Valley of Repose to pay off that thing that I talked about with Subterranean Complex. And it's time to put some enemies up against each other. So, who will win, the decorated cannon larva or the fiery blowhog? It's time for round 2, and will the cloaking Baronet be able to defeat the reigning champ? No. Round 3, and the fiery blowhog loses, to no one's surprise. So yeah, some enemies accidentally wind up killing each other, and since this isn't a pacifist run, I'm totally fine with that. It's nice that we're not the only ones getting shot at for a change, but a winner's you and all that jazz. Anyway, with all the enemies cleared out, we managed to build the bridge back across to the mainland with relative ease. But now, the championship match. Who will win, the decorated cannon larva or a rock? It's a rock. 2 rocks actually, and a third, just for good measure. Anyway, it may not have been our fault exactly for the deaths of these enemies, but we're gonna just reap the rewards and we gain about 50 Pikmin. And if the cannon larva couldn't handle the rock, the watery blowhog stands no chance. I momentarily break the physics of the game in day 13, and I gotta be real, day 13 is entirely useless. I literally do nothing for an entire day. Day 14, we've got a case of an undead Baronet, even if only for a few seconds. After that, I take some time to examine the animation of the decorated cannon beetle, just looking at that amazing squash and stretch, and how strange it looks on a freeze frame. Oh, and would you look at that? All the enemies in the area are now dead. And with that, we're able to gather all the treasure dropped by the fiery bull blocks. Bull blocks. And like a Lego brick. That's all for today, but day 15 and back in the Valley of Repose for the subterranean complex, and as menacing as it might sound, late game caves just start to get a whole lot less interesting as we go on. You can see here that I just run around for several minutes trying to find the 2 treasures on this level, and while I eventually find them, it's not what I would call peak gameplay experience. Sub-level 2 and the Careening Dirigi Bugs, such a fun name. Sub-level 2 and the Careening Dirigi Bugs here make grabbing the treasure feel like some sort of James Bond movie. Not that I've ever watched a James Bond movie, of course, but I can say that it's pretty cool to outmaneuver a bomb rock. You know, the inanimate, completely motionless object. But when I say intense, I mean intense. We grab both treasures on the level, and it's on to the next. Sub-level 3, and it's our favorite larva friends, and they just happen to kill the one that holds our treasure. Gosh, how long can I keep up this act? I wonder if there's actually people that, like, actually believe I just happened upon these treasures. My acting skills are top-notch. All jokes aside, sub-level 3 is a joke, so let's put it aside, and it's time for sub-level 4. Speaking of jokes, this is a rest floor, which means there's no treasures and no enemies. Additionally, we get the ivory candy pop buds that we came in here for. Robot. Sub-level 5, and all the enemies on this level kill themselves, which poses no real threat to any of our white Pikmin, and we're free to move on with all the treasures, and oh, Louie, what have you done? Sub-level 6, and we spawn directly on a treasure, but then I take one look at this, and I'm out. Resetting the game, we grab our previous treasure and get a much better layout for the other two, though it doesn't make our journey any less perilous. Any less perilous? Nice. Sub-level 7, and in the words of everyone's favorite Dark Lord of the Sith,
this is where the fun begins.
Level 7 is home to the Gatling Groink. Luckily for us, the Gatling Groinks can actually shoot at and damage each other. Couple this with the fact that Louie's spacesuit is made of titanium, and we can separate the treasures from the Groink's clutches. Now, unluckily, the Groinks are one of two enemies that respawn after you've killed them, so it's time to pull off some fancy maneuvers. I kill the first one, then immediately lure the second one into a well-placed bomb rock, punch the bomb rock, accidentally of course, and kill the second one. Then we send in our troops, and they manage to collect both corpses without a single loss right before they respawn. Besides a few of Louie's vital organs and, no losses. With all three treasures on the sub-level collected, it's time to move on to sub-level 8, which is yet another useless rest floor. So it's time for sub-level 9, and it's Olimar versus the man at legs, and I think that event speaks for itself. Anyway, we finished the cave with a whopping 15 out of 16 treasures, and as we all saw, I don't think we're beating the man at legs. And as for the rest of the day, well, without Olimar, Louie has surprisingly no trouble with the Snagger. Not even a required kill here. That was easier than expected. Grabbing the fossilized Ursurade is just buckets of fun with the well-developed physics engine of this game. And lastly, we use our old Ultra Bitter Spray reserves to grab Peach's crown without any casualties of any kind. I believe that means that, apart from the Frontier Cavern, we've cleared out the Valley of Repose. And who decided it was a good idea to let Louie drive the ship? We made almost 2,000 Pokos today and only lost 10 Pikmin. A good day, to say the least. Day 16, and you'll notice I have almost entirely yellow Pikmin here. And that's because it's time for my favorite cave, the Glutton's Kitchen. Sub-level 1, and we've already taken 2 lives for 1 treasure. Then we've got sub-level 2, which introduces us to the bread bugs, and apology in advance, sort of break the rules here. You see, if you carry back a treasure that a bread bug is latched onto, then the bread bug will get hurt. It's nothing serious, but the rules clearly state that we can only hurt enemies if they eat our white Pikmin. And the bread bugs, being the wholesome, perfect beings they are, don't eat Pikmin. But just like the glint beetle on last episode, I didn't kill them, and I did it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Can't go back and change it, so let's just move on to another sub-level. Sub-level 3, and who puts ads on the Little Drummer Boy music video? We grab all the treasure on the sub-level with little to no protest from the puffy blowhog. Sub-level 4, and it's time to fight the bull bear. Why am I still laughing about that Little Drummer Boy thing? The bull bear takes an astounding amount of white Pikmin to take down and gets incredibly close to our base, but eventually the poison takes him. The bread bug does us a favor and disposes of his corpse as well. Told you they were wholesome and perfect. We grab the rest of the treasure on level 2. Level T-O-O. Sub-level 5 is a mess. After some minor incidents involving a probable concussion or two, we set up a completely protected target for the cannon beetle to miss over and over again while Louis grabs the treasure from underneath his nose, or I guess, weird mouth thing. The biggest treasure in the game is then barely worth more than a 15-cent plastic party hat that will last for about 5 seconds on the trip back to Hocotate until it tears itself to shreds. And it's all thanks to Olimar. Final Florin! Whoops. Reset time. Boss Florend! Oh my god. Sub-level 6 and I'm not trying here, am I? Boss time, and you have got to be kidding me. Why are my white Pikmin attracted to electricity? Alright, so by now you can probably tell that something is up, seeing as I'm killing enemies. Well, you see, I'm trying to figure out a way to get the treasure out of the giant bread bug. I need some crazy luck, considering there's 3 bread bugs and 3 treasures, and you need 2 treasures to kill one, and I try and try again, but ultimately, I decide it's not possible. At long last, I get sick of resetting and just grab the 3 treasures we can on this level. Farewell to the bread bugs and the anti-electrifier. At the end of the day, we wind up with yet another single treasure that we can't get in the cave. That's not all for today though, because it's time to take a shower! That's a real thing that I wrote in the script. Okay. The shower room has got to be my least favorite cave in the game, so let's get through it as soon as possible. Conveniently enough, this is the longest segment of the script though. Starting off, the watery blowhogs are blind and we manage to grab the treasure on sub-level 1 easily. Sub-level 2 and yes! Finally, falling rocks! That's what I remember from the Pikmin franchise. In all honesty though, let's not forget the bar of soap. We're just hitting iconic Pikmin things left and right here. Something funny happens on sub-level 3 that's not exactly akin to my liking, so we have a chat with our old friend the Wii menu button. Honestly, I don't have anything funny to say about sub-level 3, or even like remotely exciting. You know the sound of the treasure gauge powering off after you've gotten all the treasure on sub-level? Every second I don't hear that noise on this level, it just gets infinitely more difficult to continue playing the video game. And unfortunately, the previously mentioned Wollywog holds a treasure on this level, so forced to leave without even completing it. I'm glad that sub-level is over because it's time for sub-level 4, another rest area. And I feel like I should make a joke about this, but I'm not. Sub-level 5, and I'm gonna rapid fire here. We grab all 3 treasures with some pretty major casualties, actually. Sub-level 6, and we have a pretty intense chase with a volatile Dweevil over some dentures. Louis has an unfortunate encounter with a bumbling snitch bug. We grab the rubber ducky, as well as the other treasure that I didn't mention. And it's sub-level 7, which means it's time for the boss. Now, ordinarily, you'd use your 2 captains to distract the ranging Bloister with one and attack it with the other, but seeing as Louis is currently, unavailable, the ranging Bloister fight is just going to consist of a whole lot of noises. Yep, you guessed it, that's the sound of the Bloister downing 5-weight Pikmin and being completely fine. This is, what, the 3rd boss we've been able to defeat? Well, there you go, a 100% completed cave boss, upgrade and all, and you have got to be kidding me, that stupid Wollywog on sub-level 3 was the only treasure we missed. I have had it up to here with Wollywogs, and you guys can't even see my hand motions, so just... it's a high amount, okay? Despite my frustration, this actually puts us right below the 90% completion mark. It would be 90%, but we missed a single treasure. We don't spend the rest of the day doing anything particularly useful, although we grabbed the onion that I noted in the last video, but, like I said, not particularly useful. It's day 17, and I restock on white Pikmin quickly before delving right into the snaggered hole. Sub-level 1 is simple. Lose 3 whites to an orange Bulborb, giving us his treasure, and then use 1 white to carry back the feather in the birdhouse. Sub-level 2 and... yeah. Sub-level 3 and I've got to choose which Snaggered on this level holds a treasure. Luckily for us, we actually guessed right for the first time in our entire lives. And we can actually just ignore the other Snaggered and head on to the next level. On sub-level 4, we've actually got 3 treasures to grab here before moving on. There's going to be some armored cannon beetles that get in our way here, but we can actually use the treasures as a shield of sorts. So we grab the marble, and our second treasure is actually in one of the cannon beetles. And you might think, there is no way he's going to line up that shot. And yes, maybe it took me an hour, but I can definitely tell you that we line up the shot and completely destroy this cannon beetle. All that's left to do is clean up the floor. Grabbing our 2 treasures is on to floor 5. Sublevel 5 is an interesting one because all the treasures are located inside enemies. The Emperor Whistle is located inside our friend the Antenna Beetle, so he's not really a friend anymore. But we can grab the random marble that's located in one of these 6 dwarf bulborbs. We get lucky and only lose 3 white Pikmin, but, I mean, a dwarf bulborb? Really? You had to go that low? Sublevel 6 is one of those sublevels. I remember that this level in particular is actually crazy glitched and you can soft lock yourself and all that great stuff, so I really just want to spend as little time here as possible. We grab the first 2 treasures easily, but we're running out of white Pikmin. And of course, I choose the wrong Snagret and waste my white Pikmin away. Luckily, there's a white candy pop bud on this level, which allows us to barely defeat the other Snagret for a treasure. But there is not 1, not 2, not even 3 treasures on this level. No, there is 4. And we are a single white Pikmin short of being able to kill this dwarf bulborb and complete the sub-level. That means we're on the final floor, and my apologies to the pileated Snagret, but we're gonna have to come back. So, we escape the cave, run to the white flower garden, run back to the Snagret hole, kill the orange bulborb, grab its treasure, and now, my friends, it's time for a boss fight. And as you can see here, the Snagret's got a pretty hefty dose of health. So he just keeps snacking away at our white Pikmin until finally he delivers us his treasure. And that is a satisfying ending to a game. My friends, we leave the cave, and that's right, we've repaid the debt. I don't think there was ever a doubt in my mind that my white Pikmin weren't gonna come through for us on this one, but this has been a crazy strange challenge idea, and honestly, it was really fun. So, thank you, Uncle Coyote. I'm thinking that next time we're in Pikmin 2, I'll check out the Wistful Wild, Submerged Castle, and Frontier Cavern to see exactly which treasures are obtainable with this method. But until then, I think we're done here. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other Pikmin stuff. Give this video a like because it's amazing, and as always, leave your suggestions for anything and everything down in the comments below. Join the Discord for a celebration, or even just join it because you're a good person. I don't know. But that is all for now, so I thank you all so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Literally can't wait, because I gotta go record stuff right now, so good job, buddy.